So last week, the new ministers were appointed into their different ministries. On the show today, we want to look into their various profiles and portfolios and banter about it. Joining us is the publisher, Scroll Report Online, Janet-Mba-Afolabi. Welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Good to have you.
You can join the conversation on 0708068014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So last week we got the ministers, was it last week or even 2 weeks ago? Last week, yeah. The ministers were assigned their portfolios and there were lots of ups and downs. Women, I think about 6 or 7 women, seven women. And the fact that some got their jobs back, others
got their jobs split
actually. Now, there are lots of disappointments. Some people felt that someone like former governor of Osun State should have got some works because they feel that he did a lot of work in Lagos State. And he would have done more work, but I mean, I don't know. People have different, but I was most disappointed with the Minister for Education returning. I felt that we have other people in this country who have created some serious milestones and deserved to be ministers. In your own view, what are your own disappointments? Were you happy about the appointments, or were there any ones you felt that we could discuss and have an issue that you had an issue with?
I was not disappointed.
Okay.
And I was not surprised because that is the
You didn't expect much.
Yes, that's the president's choice. He had prepared our minds to say that he's going to choose people that he knows because this is his last leg. He won't have another chance, opportunity to lead the country. So he wanted the kind of people that will help him take his agenda to the next level. So you mentioned the education minister, Adamu Adamu. Adamu Adamu is a columnist. He's basically a journalist. So heading the Ministry of Education may be like asking a fish that normally would do well inside water, swimming well inside water, to come and climb a tree. Because the tree is the home of the monkey. It's the natural habitat of a monkey. So a monkey jumps. It does not even crawl. It jumps on trees. So perhaps an educationist would have been more appropriate for that ministry. More so, please, let me please conclude. More so that he promised that he was going to reduce the out-of-school children problem by half, and he could not fulfill that promise.
You know, a lot of people have argued that you do not need to be a professional in that particular field
to manage
a ministry. You just need to have maybe enough education, enough exposure to do well. But I think in the case of the Minister for Education, this is based on last 4 years. I mean, the previous 4 years. It did not seem like he has done much. Are we judging him too quickly? Could we just give him the next 4 years and see if something will come out of it?
Yes. Answering your question, it is not every ministry that you do not need an expert. There are some ministries that you need the expert to excel. And there are those that people who get to manage it. For instance, Fashola is a lawyer. You are giving him Ministry of Works and Housing. Is he an engineer?
No, but if
I'm just answering Miriam's question. But he can perform. He had been a governor before. But like education ministry, you need an education.
Just like in petroleum.
Just like in
petroleum, for instance, which is what bothers me.
Just like in health.
I don't agree with that. We're hanging there.
Just like in health.
Just like in petroleum. Why is the president retaining his ministerial position of Minister of Petroleum? Just because we didn't see it as effective as we would like. And then you replace an expert like Kachiku with his pedigree in the industry with a Timi Silva who's just a politician. Could you explain as Minister for State?
Who also has a case in EFCC. Remember?
And maybe the only qualification for Timi Silva is because it's from Niger Delta.
That's all.
So for me,
that is only...
I feel that the notion that you need to be an expert in the field to be effective as a leader in that area is not entirely true. In some cases it might work, but it's not entirely true. I think that for you to be a minister is for you to be able to effectively manage resources with the interest of the people at heart. I don't need to be a doctor to understand that having drugs in every hospital would reduce mortality. I don't need to be a doctor to understand that putting money into infrastructure in education is not as important as putting money into human resource development. I don't need to be an education to understand those things. So I feel that, no, and everybody feels, some people can say that, oh, be an expert, and I'll say, we've had experts. The Minister of Health is in that same industry. They felt that because he's a doctor, he's partial to medical, to doctors in the medical profession. So the nurses and other non-medical people within that industry feel like he's not representing them. So you don't necessarily have to be that professional, but have the interest of people and serve the humanity.
But I think what she had said is that there's some ministry that you need expertise and there's some you don't. But I think in an area of education and health, you see, where we are right now, we all agree on this table that education and health are one of those ministries, for whatever reason, they haven't gotten as much funding and attention from the federal government in many years. So if we're going to actually set an agenda for our education achievement, what we want to achieve, don't you think we need somebody?
I just quoted the health.
Yes.
In our last administration, we had a doctor as the Minister for Health. And I can say, Dr. Isaac Oduwole, I did not see effectively what he's done. There were many crises under his administration. So, however, back to the square and square pegs and round whatever it is, I also feel that we have a major challenge in our hands because we don't know the parameter our president used to measure the effectiveness of his last administration. Because what we used to measure it was that there was a lot of failure, and those same people were back into power. Take, for instance, Ngige. So if an Ngige had so many strike issues consistently, with many people saying that he is sabotaging negotiations on many occasions, and that same man is brought back into the same portfolio, how did our president measure his achievements in the past 4 years that has warranted him to bring Ngige back for another tenure? Shouldn't we be aware of those parameters he used to measure who they are or how effective they've been?
Okay, Tokpe, let me respond to the one on the health. You don't have to be a doctor to be the Minister of Health, but you could be a medical practitioner. Doctor is not the only profession in the medical.
There's pharmacy.
Yes, there are several other practitioners. So I'm not specifying that it must be a doctor. I'm saying that it must be somebody who is knowledgeable about the health sector, so that when someone comes to you and is telling you, yes, when somebody comes to you and is talking about RTF, about malnourished children, that 2.5 children are dying every year according to UNICEF, you will understand what he's talking about, so that they will not come and tell you this cup is white when actually they mean black. You will be blank about it. That's why I'm talking about expertise in those.
Then
on Ngige, Ngige, the workers have declared him enemy of workers.
And he's back there.
They even asked the president not to reappoint him.
And he's back
they are disappointed that the president reappointed him because he didn't have good relationship with workers. And that was why we had so many strike actions. So Ngige coming back, perhaps the president wants to give him a second chance to make amendments on what he did, or maybe it's a second chance for him to redeem his name and his image, his relationship with workers.
To talk about the women, but before I quickly talk about women, I remember we had a meeting one time, and the person who had the meeting was saying, a minister, and he was saying to us that there's some things that are on ground now that you do not see how they'll end up or the fruition of them until enough time has elapsed. He talked about solid minerals, I think at the time, yes. So sometimes work needs to be put on the ground, and it takes a while for us to see it. So for some of these people that...
Like transportation ministry or what?
No. So maybe Ngige has they've done some negotiations concerning labor and wages and things like that.
That's not the example.
But let's talk about the women.
Let's talk about the women. Well, I'll take this call. Mona, are you there? Mariam is such an optimist.
Say, please,
Hosea, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay, as concerning this issue of Buhari's new set of ministers,
President Muhammadu Buhari.
To me, I feel the best thing is having professionals in these various ministries. This will help to speedy work, like make things very effective. Bringing somebody who is not into the health sector to head the Ministry of Health will not give us anything productive at all. Overhearing you talking about the Minister of Education, Adamu, like for the 4 years he was in power, I've gone through his records and I can't find anything meaningful or reasonable he has done. The whole education issue is getting worse by the day, and he's not doing anything. So for me, I feel the right thing should be done, which is
Thank you very much,
getting very good
Josiah.
hand.
Thank you for your views. Yes, Miriam was going to finish
So
up.
I
on
was just
women.
talking about the women. We have 7 women, and there's one that I find, I've been talking about her since she got her ministerial appointment. That's the Ministry for Women Affairs. You know, for a long time, a lot of us don't understand what that ministry is about, what they are meant to do. We had someone who came and sort of shed a little light on it. But what should we expect from the Minister of the Ministry of Women Affairs?
Okay, let me start from the minister. She had been around for a long time in the issues of women, championing the cause of women, advocating for changes in issues concerning women. So for that ministry, she's a round peg in a round hole.
Because she's a woman?
No, because she had been an advocate of the cause of women and championing it and been involved for a long time in women issues. So before they see her more like a woman leader, wherever you talk about women conferences, you always find her there. So she is a round peg. But that ministry, what do they do? Is a big question. What do they really do? I also wonder.
So I wanted to ask about the new Minister for Budget and Planning as well as Finance.
Okay.
How...
Like 3 ministries, right?
3 ministries for this one woman. And what we know about her so far is that she's been in the civil service for a long time. Aside that, what do you think makes her stand out? Because this is a very important... That 3 pivotal ministries for me: health, education, and this finance. To get us out of this economic whatever we found ourselves these days, we need someone who we think will be on ground. We know that she's a welfare person. Aside that, what exactly do you think qualifies her for this?
Perhaps because she's a Kaduna politician. I don't know. But
I've watched her interview. I've watched her.
I think she's good.
And she's very eloquent and she's very...
I'm asking.
Please don't do that to a woman. No, I won't let you do that to a woman.
I'm answering her question.
No, I'm partial.
I think she's good. She's good at what she's doing. You know, she had been there as the Minister of State, and when Kemi Adeosun left.
But this workload.
But I'm sure she'll be able to handle, because they are related.
Don't let Tokwe intimidate you.
Tokwe cannot intimidate. No. Tokwe has an opinion.
She's a professional.
We don't need to agree. You know, we can disagree to later agree. So I make my point, she makes her point.
Thank you, ma.
She is capable because she's a woman, and she's now the substantive Minister for Finance. I am happy and I'm proud that a woman is there. Women had always been there. So we hope that this opportunity that has been given to her, which could be an opportunity for her to fail or succeed, which could be an opportunity for her to prove herself in answering her just question. 7 women made the list, which is very low. That's about 16.7%, half of the 35% affirmative action that the president promised during the campaign. So many women are not happy. They are saying that the president should have kept his promise, because a promise is a debt, a promise is a vow, a promise is an agreement.
I don't remember him promising it. He just said he would consider it.
During campaign, that was what he said. During campaign, that was what he said, that he's going to give. Yes, you know, campaign promises come very easily. It's a means to an end.
Let's take a few more tweets.
So Bilikis Mafe says, Zainab Ahmed is good and capable of handling her portfolio. I watched her this morning on another show and she delivered. We must avoid comparison before she even begins. I think we should allow her comments before we conclude on her performance, but what I saw was not disappointing. PJ Comedian said, this is really bad. This happened because they won't use the best lawyers we have for political reasons. How will this now attract other foreign investors in the future? We need serious redemption of image in this country. Wahala deo.
Bright Life Samuel says, by right, no minister in the last 4 years is supposed to return. None of them performed, but the president said it is not performance, but about compensation. What a pity. Who bewitched us? I don't know where that came from. Peter
Omobola says, what is important is delivery, not about who heads where. Why we share our sentiments of not seeing anything by past ministers is because of the years of decay.
The compensation part was because, I mean, goes with Akpabio for them, lost out in the elections, and it was important, politically important for him to be compensated. Now, as much as we understand their political issues, but for us, the people, was it right for somebody who actually has a case in court? Who has a, yes, he's not been convicted, but at least there's a pending case against him. Was it right for him to be a part of the ministers?
I think because he still has a question mark on him in terms of corrupt practices, he shouldn't have been appointed.
So,
and it may be politically necessary, but not politically compulsory for them to have appointed him. Although he's from Niger Delta, he had been a governor from the South, he may understand more about the Niger Delta. But there are also many other people who could head that place, so that this government that is fighting corruption will be seen as not using people who have cases, who are an embarrassment.
Let me premise my question on this tweet I need to take. Mogolan says, Nigeria's presidential system is modeled after the US. When you look at the US system, you don't have to have an expert in any particular ministry to head it. What ministers usually do is provide leadership role. Most permanent secretaries are usually the expert. Now, my question is, this presidential system that we are doing in this country, is it helping us or is it killing us? What exactly
Before you answer
is it
that question,
working for us?
Adam, why are you still there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Please, I want to make my contribution is about the ministry, the ministers you talked about earlier. One thing I want us to understand is this. In every ministry, you don't necessarily need a professional or an expert. You need people that are committed, that are ready to serve the country. Now, about the Minister of Education, I want us to pay attention to this. One minister cannot solve the entire educational problem in this country. Go to our universities, go to our polytechnic, look at what the rectors are doing, look at what the VCs are doing. Look at our professors in the university who cannot even, they cannot even contribute anything meaningful to the university. All they talk about is ASU money, go on strike, you need salary increments and all that. Go to primary school, go to secondary school. Look at the pattern at which they recruit and staff and all that. Because you are from my family or because you are from my neighborhood, I just give somebody who is not qualified. No, you don't expect a minister to solve all that problem. The problem needs to be solved locally, from the universities to polytechnic and secondary school and primary school and all that.
Fantastic.
Then also, I'm very sorry about the promise the president made during campaign about including ladies in his cabinet. Ministries are not the only place where ladies can serve. You have ambassadors, you have PA, you have so many positions. So let's not just focus on just ministry. There are so many other places.
Special advisor. He meant special advisor.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Wonderful. He made a list of a lot of things and then added PAs at the end. So.
Thank you. All right, we have to round up very soon.
Please, I want to quickly, because when we talk about all these ministers, and really we do have legit grievances against the way the list has gone, but I think that we should also use this platform to ask our president to give us his expectation list to each of these ministries. Because if we know what we are expecting him to do, if he's expecting something from them, if he's expecting a list from them, this is what you're supposed to do in each of these ministries, then we can then hold him and hold them accountable that you guys have not done what...
KPIs.
Yes, because I watched the inauguration. Has he not given them his expectations?
Which is that they should go and talk to Abakari?
No, he has given them his expectation.
Well, he generalized that. It wasn't a specific...
No, I'm just saying. KPI for each person. How do we know that you are performing?
Yes.
So that we can know you have failed when you fail.
I think
we can't write an exam without having a goal. We can't play a ball without a goal post. What's the goal for each ministry? What do you want to achieve? I want a 50% reduction in importation of oil. I want this one, so we know specifically.
We have to round up. You see, we can discuss it until tomorrow.
That's why I feel like this is like a finishing solution. Like a...
I know you're working on a project. Let us...
Yes, ma. What's this?
Yes, organizing a conference is still part of what we are talking about, fighting corruption and insecurity, the way forward. And as media people, we are supposed to be part of the progress of this country. We're supposed to ensure sustainability of democracy and national development. So it's coming up on Thursday, 10 a.m. in Sheraton Hotel, Ikeja, Lagos. And the free of charge admission is free, but strictly by invitation. You are not paying any fee to enter the venue, but you have to be invited because we don't want the place to be rowdy. We want quality people. And
what kind of guests are we expecting to be there?
experts from all walks of life are part of the discussion to talk about security, talk about corruption, and the way forward. We actually want to seek solution for the national problems.
So that's good. So we'll try to definitely be there. We'll try to get ladies.
Yes.
Are we inviting us? Are we inviting
Automatic.
Automatic. I would have looked at you like.
Is automatic.
Okay, all right. So by God's grace, we'll be there also. But thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
We'll continue. We can't exhaust again this ministerial list because everybody has different opinions. So we'll go online. I was still going to make it a topic at some point where we create our own KPIs for them.
Exactly.
Let's do
Performance charts. We create our own performance chart for
each
them.
ministry,
This is what we
do the
expect.
people want?
Yes.
In fact, that should be part of your agenda, your
Yes,
events.
yes.
Let us create an agenda for each of the ministries.